There's a lot of competition in the Twin Cities right now for your gold jewelry, and tonight we're going to show you how to get the most money. Gold prices surged again this week to more than $1,100 an ounce.
Prices like that have set off a gold rush among businesses willing to pay people for their old gold. So we wanted to see who paid the most. We visited 7 different stores and got 7 different offers. But what we learned along the way could put extra money in your pocket. Here's KARE 11's Joe Fryer.
Here's another beautiful bracelet.
Gold has always been a symbol of prestige, something people want. But these days, some are scrambling to sell.
I'm selling a ring that my daughter got for a gift.
And plenty of businesses
It's very competitive now.
are more than willing to buy.
Everybody's trying to get the edge.
Pawn shops,
It is a frenzy.
jewelry stores,
Business is kind of slow, so we needed to do something that supplemented what we had.
How'd you happen to hear about our store?
there's even the Gold Guys, a business that opened last year at the Mall of America, solely dedicated to buying gold, silver, and platinum.
They know now that the junk that's just laying in their jewelry box is really worth something.
You can attribute this modern-day gold rush to the record price of gold, which is still worth more than $1,000 a troy ounce. Customers won't get that much for their old jewelry. You'll get the melt price or scrap price. So here's what to expect if you're trying to cash in.
This one here is marked 14 karat.
First, potential buyers will look closely to see if it is gold. The carat is often stamped in tiny letters.
This one's 10 karat.
They might use a magnet.
It's a great test.
If the item sticks, that means it's gold-plated, not real gold.
So with our 10-carat ring, we're just going to take a little sample on our soft stone.
They could also pour some acid on a small sample of your jewelry. It's gold if there's no reaction.
And that's how we know this is 10 carat.
The gold is then weighed in either pennyweights, abbreviated DWT, or in grams.
7.53 pennyweights.
And that's used to calculate an offer.
$128 worth of metal there.
After businesses buy from you, they sell the scrap gold to refineries like W.E. Mowry in St. Paul. They melt it and turn it into pure gold, which is then used to make new products. It's worth noting refineries usually pay more for larger quantities of gold.
The huge gold dealers get a better deal from their refiners.
So we'll just kind of dump those out.
We wanted to test the market, so we took 6 pieces of 14-karat jewelry to American Rare Coin in Bloomington.
This is 50.416 pennyweights.
Based on what her company was paying per pennyweight, Catherine McCarthy would have given us $916 for all 6 pieces. Plus, American Rare Coin tacks on 10% to deals above $500, bringing the total to $1,008. We had an undercover employee take those same pieces to 7 different stores on the same day to get quotes. The offers ranged from $670 to $950, a difference of $280.
That is quite a range.
Our best offer, $950, came from Uptown Pawn on Lake Street in Minneapolis.
And I pride myself on knowing the market and, trying to elevate the price to make us the highest paid.
Owner Michael Strauss says he could tell our employee was shopping around, so he admittedly bumped up the price.
I didn't want to lose the business. I only make money if I do business with people.
Pawn America in St. Louis Park was close behind, offering $915. As for the Gold Guys,
Trust us at the Gold Guys, we will always pay you the highest price.
their initial quote was $745, but like their ads say, they guaranteed to pay the highest price. When our undercover employee called back later and said another business offered $950, the Gold Guys promised to beat it.
The problem is we can't guarantee the highest quote every day. There are guys out there who are offering a little higher here and a little higher there because they're willing to take more of a risk or they want to make a sale.
The Gold Guys say they can make that guarantee because they deal with large quantities of gold and get a great deal from refiners. Maxit Pawn quoted us $715, but also guarantees to pay the highest for gold, saying the final deal is what matters.
This is a little different than Target, where you really can't say, I only want to pay $1.13 for this bar of soap. This is a pawn shop, and there's some discourse going back and forth, and you need to challenge that person and say, well, by the way, I was offered this, and will you meet that or beat that?
Not everyone agrees with that.
The problem with topping other prices is why aren't you giving your best price right up front?
Yumi Nashifolu owns Wedding Day Diamonds, which offered nearly $837, but bumped it up to $1,045 if we took an in-store credit instead of a check.
We give a good price right up front. Our prices are right within the top range.
To stay competitive, though, Wedding Day will also guarantee the best price. As for the other places, Wixon Jewelers in Bloomington offered $830. The lowest quote came from Evergreen Jewelers in Minnetonka, which offered $670, or an in-store credit of $870.
I mean, we give a lot back to the community.
Owner Jerry Green notes that he gives 20% of his gold profits to local organizations.
It appears that if we were the low man on the totem pole, I'm not ashamed of that, because I believe that we've given back to the community in other ways.
This is where we encourage you to price shop.
McCarthy says our survey shows it's important to take your gold to a few different places, especially if you have a large quantity. She says you should ask businesses what they're offering per pennyweight or per gram and compare. Some, like American Rare Coin, post what they're paying on the wall and online.
You should be able to call and ask at any time, what are they paying for their precious metals, and they should be able to tell you that.
Experts also say if you have an antique or designer piece, you may want to find someone who'll resell it.
If I get a piece in that I know I can resell, I will for sure give them more money than if I was going to scrap it.
Selling can be a daunting process, but if you do your homework, you'll come out golden. You've also probably seen advertisements from companies that want you to mail in your gold, saying it's more convenient. We did not send our jewelry to any of those sites, but I did call cashforgold.com to ask how much it offers per pennyweight for 14-karat gold. The company said it could not give me that information because it does not do pricing over the phone. Now, a few other tips if you're selling to someone here in Minnesota: the business must weigh the gold in front of you on a scale approved by the state, and that scale should have a special seal from the Department of Commerce. Finally, if you do shop around, remember, prices change. If you get a quote one day, you can't go back to that place days later and expect the same offer.
I guess that would too factor in if you mailed it into one of those places. You send it on a Tuesday, it's received on a Friday, maybe not weighed for another couple of days, and there's a lot of variance in the pricing then too.
Yeah, there could be maybe a huge jump or decrease in the gold, I guess, in that period.
And what's the guarantee? I guess I don't get the guarantee. It's guaranteed, but it's not?
Well, it is a guarantee for most places. That's what they say. The issue is most places probably aren't going to write down a quote if you're not selling to them. So it's not like you can take a written quote to other places and say, this is what I got. So there is a certain amount of trust there. But keep in mind, these businesses know the market pretty well. They know what their competitors are doing, and they know what a pretty good range is.
So don't try to go in and say, they offered me
well,
$2 grand for this.
Obviously not. And that probably is illegal, I'm guessing, to do. But certainly it's bad.
Some people might be thinking that way.
Well, I'm just saying. They know what's going on. Thank you, Joe.